And she was like, nah, fam, I don't want to do that. Hey, besties, welcome to my couch. It is me, Honeybee, your somewhat sommelier. Boy, do we have a time. Today I am talking about Priest by Sierra Simone. Um, Lord help me. This ticked all the wrong parts of my religious trauma, and I almost DNF'd it. Nevertheless, I persisted. So today I'm going to tell you about it. So I wanted to make this video because a lot of my friends had read it and they were like, you'll like it. Like, you have religious trauma. This is the smut book for you. It's a vibe for sure. Also, my experience with the book is going to be very different than a lot of other people's experience because some of my particular problems with it are not problems that everyone's going to have. And I'll explain that when we get there. So this is not hate towards the author. This is just my experience with it. And there's no way the author could have purposely written around my particular issues with the book. I'm just putting that out there. This book pairs well with some good bread and some strong wine. So there's this wine called Jersey Devil that's put out by a local winery, and it's like 16.5%. That might be strong enough, friends. All right. This book was not it for me. I gave this book 1.75 stars on Storygraph because you can do quarter stars and half stars on Storygraph, which I really like because I feel like that is a more accurate representation of a book, because on Goodreads, by example, I had to round up to 2 stars. Also, if you do go on Goodreads, I have highlights. I highlight stuff from like every book I read on my Kindle, and I just make them available to look at. That's fine. Let me be so for real. The first nail in the crucifixion of this book, for me, is Father Tyler Bell. He is the main character. The whole book is in his perspective. My little brother's name is Tyler. So literally anytime the name Tyler comes up, I'm like, ah. And I'm a very theater of the mind reader. When I'm reading, I am living the book. I'm seeing it in my head. I'm like full deep into it. But then the name Tyler comes up and I'm just immediately out. And I think part of it, again, because it's like a smutty book, so it's a romance. It's like you're supposed to, get into it. There was no getting into it for me. I was just like, oh no, oh no, oh no. I am so sorry. And again, that's not Sierra Simone's fault. That's totally a me issue. The second nail for me was the anointing oil. If you know, you know. I will elaborate when we get to the spoilery bit. Needless to say, for me, this book did not hit. I also this book is very much in a Catholic setting. So he's a Catholic priest who's bound to celibacy because he's the priest or whatever. I mean, I get it, and I get that comes with its own set of religious trauma, but I grew up in an evangelical church, which has its own, don't get me wrong, its own problems. But the pastors in that church could be married and have children and have families, and that's fine. So that part of it, the having to be celibate, that really wasn't as big of an issue. But some of the other stuff was you could just not do that at a church. I don't care how much religious trauma you have, that is your place of work. You don't have to do that here. It'd be me going to my job and doing stuff at my job. I would not. No, we do. Come on, guys. Anyway, we're gonna get into the spoilery bit. So if you plan on reading Priest, I guess stop here. If you don't plan on reading it and want to recap, hang out. I'm going to give you a pretty quick and basic recap, nothing too crazy. This book follows Father Tyler Bell, the young hot priest of this small-ish town chapel. The entire book is first-person perspective from Tyler's point of view. There are a couple like chapters that are like Poppy's perspective. Poppy's the love interest, but they are Poppy's confession. So it's like Poppy's confessing instead of just having like blocks of dialogue. It's her confession. Poppy is new in town. She basically rolls into the church and is like, I've never done confessions. I don't really know what I'm doing. How does Catholicism work? I need something in my life. So Poppy was basically raised to be a rich trophy wife. Like, her family's very rich. They wanted her to marry rich and just be perfect. And she was like, nah, fam. I don't want to do that. So some other notable characters that are really important in this book is Millie. She's like the church housekeeper, bookkeeper. We stand Millie. She's awesome. She's like an older woman. She's really cool. Also, Father Bell's family plays a big role in the book. He has two brothers, his parents, and he has a sister who quit the game of life, for lack of better phrasing. She had been hurt by the previous pastor of the church that he is now the pastor of. And she, like, when she did it, she left a note saying, like, this is why I was hurt by this person. Here's other people that he hurt. And that was the whole thing. Father Bell's two other brothers are finance bros. So, yeah. And they mention that there's this club that's, like, super exclusive, and you have to, like, pay a lot of money to be part of it. And that's the whole thing. The club with dancers and girls and stuff like that. Not girls, like strippers. And then there's also a man named Sterling. We'll get to him. So Poppy rolls in while Father Bell is having like confessions, and she doesn't actually say this, but like it's giving very much like, forgive me, Daddy, I've been naughty. Like, she doesn't say that exactly, but like that is the vibe she's giving. She's like, I want something. I don't like, I feel like I need religion or something spiritual because I did some bad things. So she was a dancer at this exclusive club that his brothers very recently got like invited to. They're like joking, like, we should bring our brother, even though he's a hot priest. It's just so stupid. So anyway, like even Millie's like, we shouldn't have let a young hot guy become priest. Like one of my favorite quotes from her specifically, she says, I said, mark my words, and nobody marked my words, about Father Bell being like the pastor or the priest, even though he was so young. So Father Bell and Poppy kind of grow this, at first it's like a friendship-ish, like she really wants some like spiritual guidance, and he really wants to spend time with her because he is super into her, even though he's trying to like be like, no, it's fine, like I'll just recommend her to like a girls group, I'll recommend her to somebody else she can talk to. And then he keeps not doing, I mean, he recommends her to like the women's group, but like he does not recommend she seek help from someone else on the church council, because he really wants to spend time with her. And they spend time together. Like they'll run together, they'll meet up at the coffee shop. She helps out during like a pancake breakfast. The big thing that like people say is like, this is a big draw to this book, is like they go at it on the altar of the church. And that comes up in like the first, I think it's like the prologue. It says, several months ago, I broke my vow of celibacy on the altar of my own church, and God help me. I would do it again. I am the priest, and this is my confession. So like that's kind of how the book starts, and that's like everyone's like, this is the big scene. I can't believe this happened. Oh my goodness. I was just like, buddy, that's your place of work. That's like the altar that like you put the bread and the cup on for like communion. That's unsanitary. Like those are my concerns. Like I don't care about like what you do in your free time as long as it's consensual. I just the location is not it. There's also another scene where they're going at it in his office and he's using anointing oil for non-anointing purposes. When you're doing things, you really need like body safe lubrication and not just anointing oil. Anyway. Anyway, Poppy was previously engaged to a man named Sterling. Sterling shows up at the club that she's working at and like pays for a private room, and he pays extra and they have some spicy fun time. And this is one of the things that Poppy confesses to Father Bell. She's like, I feel really bad, but also like I don't feel bad. Like I feel very empowered. I don't want to be his mistress because I know that he married one, like somebody that I know. And I know that he's married, but like it feels good to be naughty kind of vibes. But Sterling somehow like he's like, oh, I'll take care of you. We'll go on expensive vacations and you get to be not vanilla. And this is a great arrangement. She's like, but I don't want to be with you like that. That's kind of the vibe. She's like, I don't want to be the mistress. I want to be somebody's like number one. He's like, you're not good enough to be somebody's number one, but I'll make you my mistress. And he really wants her for that. And she's not into it. Her and Father Bell obviously progressed their relationship and they do things. And Sterling hires a PI and he gets pictures of them together and blasts them publicly. Basically forcing Father Bell to quit. Or leave his position and pursue other things besides being a celibate priest. And he was about to propose to Poppy. Like he was like, I'm all in. Like I will leave. I'm all in. This is fine. But when he gets to her place to propose to her, she's talking to Sterling. And she didn't know that he was going to propose at that point. But he's like, well, she picked Sterling. She's gonna leave with him, and he's very hurt. So he like goes on like missions to like other countries, serving. And then when he comes back, he's like, I don't care. I'm gonna go get her. So I think it's like New York City, where Sterling is from and where Poppy was originally from. So he like busts into Sterling's office and is like, I'm here for Poppy. And he's like, it's been years, bro. And he's like, what do you mean? It's like, well, like that last time that I was at her house when he saw them together, he was like, yeah, she just like saying some sweet nothings and then kicked me out. So basically right after Father Bell had seen them together, Sterling was like kicked out, and Poppy was like, under no uncertain terms will I be with you ever again. But Sterling has information that Poppy kind of started her own business. So Father Bell rolls up and he's like, I'm here for you. I've come for you. And she's like, well, I didn't want you to have to choose. Like I left. I made you not want me so you could continue being a pastor. And he's like, well, I couldn't continue being a pastor. Also, I did choose and I choose you. And yay, happy ending. It just took so long to get through it, and a lot of my mental health down the drain. No. Again, no fault of Sierra Simone. Like as far as like how well it was written, it was fine. Nothing crazy. It's just the main character's name being my brother's name just really took me out of it and really like did not do it for me. Also, like there are times where I'm unable to suspend my disbelief, like with the anointing oil and how she did not get a horrible infection following that. But no one would want to read about somebody getting a horrible infection from that. So I guess that makes sense. Thank you so much for joining me. If there are other smutty books that you are interested in hearing me talk about, feel free to let me know down in the comments below. and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye. So this book, follow,